From the truth behind Dave Chappelle's Detroit breakdown,
Have you ever saw on TMZ the big headline, Dave Chappelle drunk on stage in Detroit?
to his atomic takedown of performative feminists,
Chicken overalls, men are trying to rape us. Ah, not you, bitch, we please.
these are 10 moments when Karens get destroyed by Dave Chappelle. Starting when Dave Chappelle got booed in Detroit, one furious voice lit a fire he wouldn't extinguish. Starting when Dave Chappelle got booed in Detroit, one furious voice lit a fire he wouldn't extinguish.
I know, I've been gone for a very long time. And unbeknownst to you, it was a difficult 10 years. I'm not gonna take you through all the agony I've been through, but it was tough. I don't know if you ever saw on TMZ the big headline, Dave Chappelle drunk on stage in Detroit. Well, if you saw it, I wasn't drunk. I had smoked some reefer with some rappers.
Dave addresses the drunk headline, but the truth is much greener. Rapper weed is about to trigger a showdown with an entitled
The
crowd.
article goes on to say I was booed off stage, which is also incorrect. I was booed. I did not leave. It was a fucking nightmare. 2 puffs of weed, that's all it was. 2 puffs.
The weed hits hard, and the Detroit nightmare is just beginning.
Take 2 puffs of weed. I looked at the guy next to me. I was like, I'm gonna bomb, nigga. I can feel it. You know, normally when you do a comedy show, you guys don't know what it looks like up here, but niggas be just looking up at you like. That's how the show started.
Dave feels the bomb coming as the audience's confusion turns into a revolt.
It took one person to break the ice. It's a black lady with a Ford Motor shirt on. She stood up suddenly. Fuck you, Dave Chappelle. I said, excuse me? And in a weird act of racial harmony, a conservative white guy stood up and backed her up. Yeah!
A woman in a Ford shirt starts a moment of rare racial unity.
The whole crowd band together and started chanting, "We want our money back. We want our money back." I said, oh shit. I snapped out of it. Good people of Detroit, hear me. Hear me now. You will never get your fucking money back.
Dave refused Detroit's refund, but now he's auditing the feminist movement's
I
entitlement.
Googled the dictionary definition of a feminist just to make sure I was talking about the right thing. And do you know, sir, what the dictionary definition of a feminist is? I didn't either. Listen to this. Webster's defines a feminist as a human being, not a woman, a human being that believes in equal rights for women.
Dave Chappelle audits the definition of feminism. He's about to destroy entitled stereotypes with a dictionary.
I'm shocked that that's what that meant. Because by that definition, I would consider myself a feminist, and I didn't even know that at the time. All these years, I thought it meant frumpy dyke. Well, that's who's always talking, to be some chicken overalls, men are trying to rape us. Ah, not you, bitch.
Dave's new realization sets up a roast of the women lecturing him.
I know, look, listen. I support the feminist movement, I do, in my own ways. When you guys did the Women's March, I tried to go and support you. And none of my friends would go with me. I asked all the fellas, none of them wanted to go.
Dave's attempt to support the Women's March reveals his friend's total lack of interest.
What I did is I called my friend Ange. Ange is a black woman who's a comedy writer, and she's dope. She's the only woman that I know personally that pays her ex-husband alimony. And she sounds just like a man when she does it. Fuck that broke motherfucker and all that. And all I did, I texted her, I said, Ange, are you going to the Women's March?
A call to his friend Ange is about to expose the movement's racial friction.
She said, I hope those white bitches get tear gassed. There's a problem in that feminist movement, isn't there? From its inception in America, there's always been a racial component.
Ange's ruthless text destroys the entitled assumption of female unity.
Susan B. Anthony was having that meeting, and Sojourner Truth's black ass showed up. All them white women asked Sojourner Truth not to speak. They didn't want to conflate the issues of women's rights and slavery. But you know how black bitches are. Sojourner Truth went up there anyway. She did a famous speech. She said, ain't I a woman?
A history lesson on Sojourner Truth exposes the movement's exclusionary tactics.
Ain't I a woman? That's right. And listen. I supported the Me Too movement, but the whole time I thought that the way they handled that was stupid.
Dave targets Hollywood's performative activism as his next surgical audit.
And all of them would be like, let's all go to the Golden Globes and wear black dresses to give these men a piece of our minds. Bitch, that is not gonna work. You think Martin Luther King's gonna be like, I want everybody to keep riding the bus but wear matching outfits? You gotta get off the bus and walk.
Comparing award shows to bus boycotts destroys the logic of matching outfits.
I want everybody to wear a crocheted pussy hat so they know we're serious. And then I said something about it in one of my specials, and all these women actresses came after me. I said, man, fuck y'all too, you canceled. I ain't jerking off to none of your pictures again.
Dave destroyed performative hats, but wait till stovetop stuffing triggers a Mormon household heist.
Timmy was one of my first white friends, like, in my life, man. He was a good dude, too. One day I was at his house, we were just hanging out, and Timmy says, Dave, why don't you stay for dinner tonight? I said, oh, man, if I'm not home before dark, my mother will kill me.
Dave uses a fake curfew to escape a bland Mormon dinner, but when the menu changes, he's about to destroy his own lie.
That was a lie. My mother had several jobs. I hadn't seen her in like 3 or 4 days. And the only reason I lied to Timmy was because at that point in my life, it was my experience that white dinner wasn't delicious. I'd rather go home and fry some bologna or some shit like that.
Dave's fear of a flavorless meal is about to be challenged by a legendary commercial.
I said, well, it's too bad you can't stay, Dave, because Mom made stovetop stuffing. I said, what the fuck, stovetop? Well, hold on, nigga, let me make some phone calls real quick.
Stovetop stuffing becomes the ultimate bait for Dave's next deceptive play.
Finally, I met a motherfucker that actually had a box of stovetop in the house. I couldn't miss this opportunity, so I pretended to call my mother. And then I came back and I said, Timmy, you're not gonna believe this great news. Mom said I can stay. He said, why don't you come with me and we'll help set the table and then we can say the blessing. I had no interest in setting this motherfucker's table or saying these crazy ass Mormon prayers.
A fake phone call is the strategy to bypass the family prayers.
My plan was simple. Wash my hands slowly, and by the time I'm done, the table will be set, the blessing will be said, and all that there will be left to do is eat. I must have been in there for about 10 minutes. And suddenly, one of his mothers came to the door.
A tactical bathroom break is the final move to avoid doing any chores.
She said, Timmy tells me that you're planning on staying for dinner. I said, I hope that's not a problem, ma'am. She says, no, it's no problem. In fact, we'd love to have you. It's just that we weren't expecting company. And I'm afraid there's not enough stovetop stuffing for everybody. So I kicked her in the pussy. Bam! Ladies and gentlemen.
Dave won the stuffing heist, but Syracuse security stops a much bigger disaster.
I was in Syracuse, New York. Yeah, well, yeah, for Syracuse, but the show didn't go so good. All because I was talking about Bill Cosby a little bit. Not a little bit, I'll be honest. Talked about him for like maybe 25 minutes. And a woman stood up in the back of the room and she screamed out, you are a fucking asshole for saying these things.
Dave's Cosby set triggers a Syracuse heckler. He's about to see her charge the stage in a full-blown Karen rage.
Not bad about what I was saying. I just felt bad, like, oh, that's too bad she doesn't like the show. But not only did she say that, she was rushing the stage. Oh, I just saw this shadowy figure fucking charging up the aisle towards me in full fight mode. I was horrified. I said, oh my God, I'm gonna kick this bitch in the face.
A shadowy figure charges the aisle, forcing Dave into a split-second defense plan.
Lucky for me, I didn't have to. Security tackled her, but she screamed out to me, women suffer. I said, I know. I need you to know, seriously, there's a lot of men in this room that identify themselves as feminists. I would include myself in that.
Security stops the hit, but Dave's audit of her Women Suffer lecture is just starting.
We all have mothers and daughters and sisters and wives, and we want to see all these women do well. There's a lot of men like that in this room. There's a lot of men like that in the world, or as we are known on the streets, bitch-ass niggas. But as this woman was wrestling and screaming at me, I started to take offense. And I'm gonna be honest, race was involved. She was a young white woman.
Dave identifies as a feminist before exposing the racial tension behind her entitled scream.
Bitch, how the fuck are you going to yell at a black man about discrimination? She didn't get it. She just kept going. Women suffer. I know. Women suffer. Same team. And this is where she went too far. We suffer just like you. Slow your roll, bitch. You suffer, yes, but not like me. Not like us.
He challenges her to realize that her suffering isn't a match for his own.
She goes, suffering is suffering. What's the difference? I said, come on, white woman, you know what it is. You was in on the heist. You just don't like your cut. You suffer. I suffer. You suffer. I suffer. That's how it works. Can't do comparative suffering. If you're hungry and your friend says, people are starving in Africa, so what, nigga? I still want lunch.
Dave checked her comparative suffering, but now he's showing his agent Sharon how rushing yards trump a murder charge.
And in the 90s, that felt very uncomfortable. Now I tend to enjoy it at this age. I was having dinner with my agent celebrating a deal that they told me was lucrative, but I later learned fucking sucked. And suddenly, a group of women walked by. Every race was in that group.
Dave's business dinner is about to get crashed by a legendary fugitive.
Black, white, Asian, Latina, white, and white again. Then I saw a familiar face. Al Collins, the man from the infamous Bronco chase, walked by and embraced one of the women, and they walked towards the door. Couldn't believe what I saw. And then, close behind him, was OJ Simpson, newly released from jail.
Al Cowlings leads the way for the entrance of the most infamous man in America.
I was shocked. I didn't mean to say it out loud, but it just came out. OJ! He stopped, turned around to see who said it, saw my black face, and correctly assumed it was me. He leaned over all the white people I was having dinner with and shook my hand. How are you, young man?
Dave's greeting triggers a personal encounter that horrifies his dinner guests.
He looked in my eyes, and I could see in his eyes that he didn't remember meeting me the first time. And I looked back at my agents, and all of them had nothing short of disgust on their faces. And the only one with the courage to voice their disgust was a woman named Sharon, who used to represent me. How could you, she said. How could you shake hands with that murderer?
Sharon tries to audit Dave's morals, but he's already preparing the athlete defense.
I said, Sharon, with all due respect, that murderer ran for over 11,000 yards. And he was acquitted, so, fuck it. Glove didn't fit. Get over yourself.
Dave defended OJ's yardage, but now he's destroying the entitled critics coming for Louis C.K.
I'm sorry, ladies. I got a fucking Me Too headache. Y'all is killing me right now. I got in a lot of trouble for this. I told you were right. But the way you're going about it is not going to work. Louis C.K. was a very good friend of mine before he died in that terrible masturbation accident.
Dave's Me Too headache triggers a defense for his friend. He's about to destroy the entitled outrage surrounding the scandal.
He was masturbating in his own room. That's where you're supposed to masturbate. And then he said, hey, everybody, I'm gonna pull my dick out. Nobody ran for the door or nothing like that. They all just kind of hung out like, I wonder if this guy's serious. What is the threat? Have any women ever seen a guy that just came on his own stomach? This is the least threatening motherfucker the earth has ever seen.
Dave performs a surgical audit on why the incident was pathetic rather than threatening.
All you see is shame in their face and cum dripping down like pancake butter. Try. Call the police on them. Hello, police. Yes, I am on the other line with comedian Louis C.K. and I think that he is masturbating while I'm on the phone.
He simulates an awkward police call to prove the legal demands are delusional.
You know what the police are gonna say in Atlanta? Well, what are you guys talking about? They ruined this nigga's life, and now he's coming back playing comedy clubs, and they acting like if he's able to do that, that's gonna hurt women.
Dave defended Lewis from the activists, but wait till he destroys the entitled logic of a network Karen named Renee.
15 years ago, I made a mistake. I didn't even know I had done anything wrong. I had written a sketch that had the word faggot in it. So I had to go to standards and practices. They called me up.
Dave meets with a network head. He's about to destroy her entitled censorship with a logic check.
She tells me, oh, the sketches are great. I go, oh, fantastic. Well, then why am I here? She said, because David, there's no way that you can ever say the word faggot on our network.
Renee bans a specific slur, setting the trap for Dave's next inquiry.
As I was leaving, it occurred to me, hey, Renee, quick question. It's just a question. Seriously, I want to know, like, why is it that I can say the word nigger with impunity, but I can't say the word faggot?
He questions the network's double standard to expose the hypocrisy of their rules.
She said, because, David, you are not gay. I said, well, Renee, I'm not a nigger either.
Dave dismantled a network executive's logic, but wait till he shows an Ohio mall stalker why her opinion belongs in the comments.
A couple years ago, I was in Ohio at a shopping mall. An old white lady, this is true, she was following me around the mall, which sounds paranoid, but I'm sure she was following me. Mean lady, too.
Dave Chappelle spots a woman stalking him through the mall. He's about to discover this Karen's entitled agenda is heading for a parking lot showdown.
I'd be looking around like, what is this old bitch doing in GameStop and Foot Locker and all the places I like to go? And eventually I forgot about her. So then after I'm shopping, I go all the way to the back of the parking lot. And as soon as I open my car door, I hear a voice go, David Chappelle. And I look back and sure enough, there she was, that face.
The stalking moves to the parking lot for an entitled confrontation.
But she was a white woman. This bitch looked terrible. I kept my cool. I was nice. I said, hello, miss. And she didn't say anything back. All she said was, I watch your comedy.
Her admission of being a fan sets up a predictable lecture.
And then she says, it's true. She goes, it sounds to me like you hate women. I said, well, you know what, miss? But I can tell you, as the maker of this art, that I don't believe that I feel that way. And she said, well, I think. And I said, shut up, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Dave's professional patience is about to hit its breaking point.
Before I kill you and put you in the trunk, ain't nobody around here. I felt that way, but that's not what I said. I was more clever than that. You know what I said? And this is exactly what I said. I said, miss, before you finish that statement, let me ask you a question.
Dave's clever response is about to destroy her moral high ground.
Did you buy a ticket to a concert I did? I doubt that. Or maybe you watched one of my specials on Netflix. Or did I follow you to your car and do my act? She said, what? I said, keep it in the comment section, bitch. This is real life.
Dave sent that mall stalker packing, but wait till he explains why a fake TMZ story about a club fight went way too far.
It was a lesbian woman that tried to sell a story about me to TMZ. Thank goodness TMZ could see right through the sham of that story. This woman claimed that I beat her up in a nightclub because she was a lesbian. That is fucking crazy. Bitch, I didn't even know you was a woman.
Dave calls out a fake TMZ hit piece. Her entitled aggression is about to trigger a real club brawl.
I came in the club minding my own business, and a woman came up to me. She goes, oh my God, Dave Chappelle. And I was just being reciprocally nice. Hey. And all of a sudden, this lesbian fellow stepped between us. Hey, nigga, that's my girl. I said, yo, my man, back up, like that.
A benign talk turns violent after an entitled interruption.
I said, bro, you're gonna have to give me 3 feet like this. She said, stop calling me a man, motherfucker. I'm a woman. I said, what? And then I looked deep in this nigga's cheekbones. I said, oh my God, you are a woman.
Recognizing her gender changes Dave's strategy, but not his intent.
I softened my posture so that she would know she's in no danger. I even changed the tone of my voice. I said softly, sweetly, like a pimp might say. Bitch, I'm about to slap the shit out of you.
Dave issues a polite warning before her training makes things dangerous.
Oh, I wish I didn't say that. She dropped that foot back. Boop, she was in a perfect southpaw stance. Her shoulders were angled correctly. Her head movement was good. I said, oh no!
Her fighting stance forces Dave into a high-stakes defensive move.
I had to go to work. I let that jab go. You should have seen me go, nigga. I tenderized them titties like chicken cutlets.
Dave survived the club brawl, but wait till he destroys a front row Karen over a pack of cigarettes and some bootleg DVDs.
I can remember when it all started. It was when I was doing Chappelle show. And then on the weekends, I do like concerts and shit like that. So I'm doing a concert, and there was a couple in the front row. Beautiful couple. The wife was obviously Asian.
Dave Chappelle spots a beautiful couple in the front row. He's about to find out that his smoking habit is the least of this wife's problems.
The husband, this motherfucker was mysterious, to say the least. Caramel-colored fella, very nice hair, but it could have been from anywhere. Bangladesh, Mexico. I can't guess with a nigga like this.
The husband's a mystery, but Dave's already pinpointed why the wife is scowling.
He was scowling at me at a goddamn comedy show. And then I realized at some point that she was pregnant. And I was smoking on stage. So I started to put my cigarette out, but then she hit me with one of them fake non-smoker calls.
A fake cough triggers Dave's petty side as he doubles down on his cigarette.
I just kept smoking. I thought to myself, bitch, that babe will be fine, relax. And I just asked her, that's all I said. I go, hey, where are you guys from anyway? She says, I'm from California. If you're asking my ethnicity, I am Chinese. And her husband was just cool about the shit. He was like, I'm Mexican, bro.
The tension peaks as Dave asks about her heritage to set up a hard-working punchline.
I said, well, I'm sorry if I offended you by asking, but you're a very beautiful couple. And miss, there's no question that you're gonna give birth to the hardest working baby this world has ever seen.
Dave combines their ethnicities for a compliment that's about to backfire.
She had to take one last dig at me on the way out. I will never buy one of your fucking DVDs again. I said, ma'am, with all due respect, Chinese people don't buy DVDs.
If you enjoyed this video, click the videos on the screen right now, but also don't forget to subscribe.